Yeah, Rabbi Isai, so tonight's shir is being dedicated by Mr. Larry Appleton of Chicago, Illinois. Eliezer Appleton. And it's dedicated to Schus, Achenu B'nai Yisrael, Hanasunim B'tzoro B'Yishivya, that HaKadosh Baruch Hu should bring them and all of us a speedy Yeshua. So I was asked to say some divrei chizuk. So first of all, I want to be honest. The phrase, the concept chizuk is unfortunately overused and misused. Chizuk is not about everything will be okay. That's the shita of the Nevi'ei Hasheker, the false prophets, as the pasuk says in Eicha. Nevi'ayich chazu loch shov v'tofel vayechazu loch masois shov umaduchim. What is the real chizuk? The real chizuk is about not allowing ourselves to be paralyzed by adverse circumstances and gathering all our strength to stand up and do what needs to be done. Like Yoav ben Tzeruya said to his brother Avishai when they were miponim ume'ochor, standing against the armies of Aram on one side and Ammon from the other side, chazak v'nischazak, ba'ad amenu v'orei Elokeinu. So chizuk is about determination, resolve, about standing up to do what needs to be done. It's not about telling ourselves that it's better than it really is. So, if we're talking about chizuk, it's first of all because we're in distress. In other words, chizuk is because we feel between a rock and a hard place. We're in a tight spot. We're distressed. But are we really distressed? I mean, is our heart broken? Do we feel the pain, the tsar of so many Yidden that were killed? Families that were wiped out, families that were shattered, not to talk about all those people that were kidnapped and all those wounded people that are suffering as we speak. So do we really feel that we should be shaykh to the calling of chazak v'nis chazak? I mean, that's a calling to people that are in distress. Are we really in distress? The Gemara says in Tainis Daf Yud Aleph, the Gemara brings a brayse, Tanu Rabbanim Bizman She Yisrael Shruyin Bitzar Upireish Echad Mehem. Somebody separates himself from the Tsar that Yisrael are Shruyin Bitzar. Bo'in Shnei Malachi Ashoresh Shemalavin Lo La'odam Umenichin Lo Yedeyem Al Roshoy. They put their hands on his head. V'oimrim ploini zeh shepireish min hatzibur al yireh b'nechomas tzibur. Gemara brings another brayse. Tanya idach bizman she'atzibur b'tzar al yoimar odam eilech lebeisi v'oichal v'eshte v'sholom alai nafshi. V'im oise came. All of HaKosev, the Gemara brings very, very harsh psukim that concludes with Im yichupar ha'ovain hazeh lochem at temusun. Elo yitzar odam im hatzibur. A person should be mitzvah with the rest of the tzibur, even if he's not part of that sakana. Shekein matzinu b'Moshe Rabbeinu shetzir atzmo im hatzibur sheneemar v'yedei Moshe kvedim vayikchu even vayasimu tachtov vayeshev oleho. So Moshe, by the Melchemes Amalek, he's sitting on a rock. Frag the Gemara, Moshe, kar achas, oy keses achas, leishev oleo. Why did he sit on a hard rock? Elokach omar Moshe, hoyol v'Yisrael shruyim b'tzar, af ani eye b'tzar imohen. V'chol hamitzar atzmai ma'tzibur zoiche v'roya b'nechomas tzibur. And the Gemara goes on, V'shema yoymar odo mi meid bi. Who's gonna be made if I really felt the pain? The Gemara says, Avnei beisoy shel odom, v'koyrois beisoy me'idin boy. Shenemar ki even mikir tizak, ukfis me'etz yanena. The Be'er Pshila Amri Shnei Malachi Asher Zem Lavin Odom, they are made on him. So we see that this is really a core value in Yiddishkeit. You know, it's not even about noise ba'oil im chaveiro in order to help him. Nobody was helped in any which way by the fact that Moshe Rabbeinu sat on a rock and not on a karva keses. It's about being part of the tsar of the tzibur. You know that the Stipler was a chain smoker. And this is in a time when they didn't yet know that it was unhealthy. But the during the Holocaust, for 5 years, he refrained from smoking. And after the Holocaust, he went back to smoking, and he was a chain smoker. But I'm saying that was just an expression of being mitzvah imat tzibur. I mean, to give yourself less than what you usually have in order to be part of the mitzvah atzmi imat tzibur. You know, on Simchas Torah we read the bracha of Yosef. It says, "Umimeged eretz umeloya." Uritzoin shoichni sne tavoisa leroish Yosef ulekodkoid nazir echov. A very shver pasuk, like many psukim in V'zois HaBracha. Mimeged eretz maloya is with a bounty of the land and its fullness, and by the favor of him who rested upon the thorn bush. Ritzoin shoichni sne. That Yosef, his bracha, is with the rotzen of the one that was shoichen in the sneh. Like Rashi says, "Ritzoin shoichen sneh k'moy shoichen sneh, v'tehei artzoi mevureches miritzoinoi v'nachas ruchoi shel HaKadosh Baruch Hu hanikle olai tchila b'sneh." So Moshe Rabbeinu was saying that Yosef should be blessed with a bracha, mevureches Hashem artzoi. Where's that bracha coming from? From the Ritzoin, Rotzen, and the Nachas Ruach of He, who first revealed himself to me in the Sneh. So, what is the connection between the Sneh and the Birchas Yosef? Why is Yosef being blessed with Ritzoin Shoichni Sneh? But you know that a few psukim earlier, in the beginning of the brachas of Yosef, it says, "Uli Yosef Omar mevoireches Hashem artzoi mimeged shamayim mitol umitahim roivetes tochas." So it says, "Uli Yosef Omar." In Parshas Miketz, it says, "Uli Yosef yulad shnei bonim beterem tovoi shnas harov." So the Balaturim over there in Parshas Miketz, Mem Aleph Mem, on the pasuk Ula Yosef Yulad Shnei Banim, he says, as he does many times, Beis b'Mesoros, that this word Ula Yosef appears twice b'Mesoros. It appears twice in the Torah. One is Ula Yosef Yulad Shnei Banim, and the other is Ula Yosef Amar Mevareches Hashem Artzei. And he says, Keda Amrina, like the Gemara says in Tainis Daf Yud Aleph, Kol HaMeshatef Atzmai Imat Tzibur B'Tzorosam Zoiche V'Roya B'Nechem As Tzibur. In other words, the outstanding bracha of Yosef has to do with the idea that Meshatef Atzmai B'Tzar Tzibur is Zoiche V'Roya B'Nechem As Tzibur. Where was Yosef Meshatef Atzmai Matzibur? That's Mavur in the Gemara in Tainus over there. That's on the pasuk that Yosef Yulat Shnei Bonim Beterem Tovei Shnas Harov. So the Gemara says that Yosef was Pirish Mitashma Shamita during the Shnei Sarov. That's why the Yosef Yulad Shnei Bonim B'Terem Tavei Shnas Sarov. And why was he Pirish Mitashma Shamita during the Shnei Sarov? Because he was Mitzar Atzmai Im Hatzibur. Mitzar Atzmai Im Hatzibur. So come to Chois Azoy. So he's saying that Yosef Yulad Shnei Bonim, which means that he was Mitzar Atzmai Im Hatzibur, because Yosef Yulad Shnei Bonim B'Terem Tavei Shnas Sarov. Therefore, Uli Yosef Omar, Mevoreches Hashem Artzai. That's the connection between the two Uli Yosefs. Now, on the pasuk in Parashat Shemos, Gimel Beis, Vayera Malach Hashem Elov Belabas Eish Mitoich Hasneh, Vayar V'Hine Hasneh Boyer Ba'Eish V'Hasneh Einenu Uko. So HaKadosh Baruch Hu's first revelation to Moshe Rabbeinu is Mitoich Hasneh. Says Rashi, Mitoich Hasneh v'loy ilon acher, mishum imoy anoichi b'tzora. So Hashem's revealing himself to Moshe in the sneh, in the thorn bush, is an expression of imoy anoichi b'tzora. So comes to chois that the parallel to that Hanhaga of imoy anoichi b'tzora, the Rebbeinu Shalom's Hanhaga of the way we parallel that is with being Meshatef Atzmoi Im Hatzibur B'Tzorosan. So since the bracha of Yosef is rooted in his being Meshatef Atzmoi Im Tzar Hatzibur, therefore it's coming from Ritzoin Shoichni Sneh. It's the Nachas Ruach of HaKadosh Baruch Hu, who's Shoichni Sneh, who's a Meshatef Atzmoi Im Hatzibur. So when Yosef is Meshatef Atzmoi Im Hatzibur, he's blessed. Therefore, the Uli Yosef Omar, Mevoreches Hashem Artzoi, Mimeget Shemayim Mitol, Umrtoimri Vesetztochas, that's something that comes from the Ritzoin, Shoichni Sneh. Moshe Rabbeinu himself, that was Zoiche to the Gilui, Mitoich HaSneh, he was Zoiche only because he was Meshatef Atzmoi Im Hatzibur B'Tzorosan, as the Pasuk says in Parashat Shemos, Vayihi Bayomim Horabim Ahem, Vayigdal Moshe, Vayetzei Alecha, Vayar B'Sivloisam. Rashi says, Nosan Eino V'Liboy Liois Meitzar Aleim. Yeah, which by the way, means that maybe even Moshe Rabbeinu were being taught. It's not like it was automatic. It was Nosan Eino V'Liboy Meitzar Aleim. So even somebody who doesn't feel that he has that feeling automatically, it doesn't mean that he can't work on it. Nosan Einav V'Liboy Liois Meitzaleh. The Medrash Rabbah says, Ma'u vayar b'sivloisam, shehoya roya b'sivloisam, uboiche v'oimer chavali aleichem. Mi yitain moisi aleichem. I wish I would die in your place. She'ein lecha malacha kosher me'malachas atit, v'yanoisin kseifa v'masayeh alecha lechat ve'echot. Rebelaza ben Osher b'Yosef Aglili Yomero Masui Godel al Cotton, Umasui Cotton al Godel, Umasui Ish al Isha, Umasui Ish al Ish, Umasui Zoken al Bocher, Umasui Bocher al Zoken. V'Yomanir Dargon Shaloi v'Hoylech u'Meyashiv lem Sivloiseim v'Oisakilu Messiah leParoi. Omer HaKadosh Baruch Hu, Ato hinachto asokecho v'alachto lirois b'tzaron shel Yisrael v'nohagto b'hem minik achim. Ani meniach es ha'elyonim ve'es ha'tachtonim v'adaber imcha. Hadod iksiv vayar Hashem kisor lirois. Yeah, it's not just about looking at the burning bush. Vayar Hashem kisor lirois. Ro'a HaKadosh Baruch Hu b'Moshe shesor me'asokov lirois b'sivloisam lefichach vayikra Elokim Elov Elokim Yitzoich HaSneh. So Moshe Rabbeinu, that was Noisa ba'olam echov, he was Zoiche to the Gilui Elokim Yitzoich HaSneh, and Yosef, that was Meshatef Atzmoi Im Hatzibur B'Tzorosan, is Zoiche in the Meged Eretz U'Maloyo Retzoin Shoichni Sneh. So it's all about being Meshatef Atzmoi Im Hatzibur. The Mechilta in Parshas Yisroi on the Pasuk V'nofal Mimenu Rov. the pasuk sounds like Hakadosh Baruch Hu is only worried pen Yeharsu Lirois v'nafal mimenu rov, that there'll be many casualties. But the Mechilta says afilu echad mehem sheyipoil hu olai kekulam melamed she'af echad memayit al yidei kulam. Every single yid is memayit the entire tzura of Klal Yisrael. Yochid sheyipoil mehem harei hu olai keneged kol ma'aseh bereishis shenemar ki l'Hashem ein odom. The pasuk in Zechariah. Unfortunately, we hear numbers and numbers and numbers, and it cheapens the value of individual human life. We need to remember and remind ourselves that every individual is a olam hamloya, and to each one of these individuals, it doesn't really matter that there's another individual and another individual. I mean, to each family, I mean, this is everything to them, and so it should be to us. The Rambam in Hilchos Teshuvah says in Perek Gimel, Halacha Yud Aleph, Zog the Heilige Rambam haporesh midarkei tzibur. So somebody's poresh midarkei tzibur. Not clear. What does that mean? Afal pi sheloi ovar averos. He didn't do any averos. Elo nivdal me'adas Yisrael. The einoi oise mitzvos bichlolon. Which means it's not like he's not doing mitzvahs. He's doing mitzvahs. Because if he's not doing mitzvahs, he's over averis. Yes. So he's nivdal me'adas Yisrael ve'enim oise mitzvos bichlolon. He doesn't feel part of the Jewish people. Like the Shalom says when a person should have an awareness that his mitzvahs have an effect on the entire well-being of the Jewish people. So he's a einoi oise mitzvahs bichlolon. V'loy nichnas b'tzoroson, v'loy mis'ane b'ta'anison, elo hoylech b'darkoi ke'echad migoy haaretz. In other words, he's not connected with Jewish peoplehood. He stays away from averes. He does mitzvahs. He's elo hoylech b'darkoi ke'echad migoy haaretz u'ki'ilu einoi mehem ein loy chelek la'olam haba. And that comes from this sugya in Tainus. So, I mean, we have, there's the Jewish mission and there's the Jewish faith. The Rambam is telling us that they're inseparable. In other words, somebody who identifies with Torah Yisrael and not with Am Yisrael has no chelik in Olam Haba. In the past, even Pashut Yidden, Amaratzim, felt deeply the connection to the Tzibur. Today, unfortunately, it's even yitochen to have medaktik and b'mitzvahs, b'nei Torah, that are not so much b'nei Yisrael. In other words, they're not oisem mitzvahs b'chlolon. It's like we don't have that sense of unity. But this is really what makes us Yidden, is the identification with Jewish history, with Jewish peoplehood. I mean, the feeling of kivsa achas bein shivim za'evim. If you paid any attention to the slichas that we were just saying, I mean, and especially in the Aseres Mei Tshuva, you see how much it's soaked with Jewish blood, with anger, with humiliation, with all the pain and suffering that of the time of the Crusades. I mean, we really need to connect with our history and feel that we're one people. Every morning in Hoidu, we talk about, we start all the way from the beginning. Vayishalchu mi goy el goy, umi mamlocha el amacher. So do you know what that's about? That's about Avimelech and Paroi, who were plagued because they took Sarah Eshes Avrom. That's the Vayoichach Aleim Malachim. So, I mean, we're a people with a very, very long history, with a very long memory. I mean, we still talk daily about experiences that happened thousands of years ago to our founding fathers. Alachas kama v'chama. I mean, Elikei Avram, Elikei Yitzchak, Elikei Yaakov, and throughout. I mean, the Zchiras Yitzias Mitzrayim, Golus Mitzrayim, B'chol Davar Derech Adam Lir Sas V'Kiliyas Mitzrayim, and this is really what makes us who we are, and this is something that needs to be emphasized. And what happened now is really a wake up call, also to remind us who we are. I mean, not to live in the here and now, and not to live with the illusions of being able to rely on the Umas Ha'olam, because and looking for local explanations to every problem that the Jewish people experiences. I mean, this is something that unfortunately it's also fagoyish the Yidden that have that tendency, and also even our Yidden that have that tendency to always try to explain that this tzara is coming from this type of thing and from that type of thing. It's really kifsa achas ben shivim ze'evim. That's our state ever since. It says in the Megillah Esther, "B'chol medina shedvar melech v'dosi magia evel gadol haYehudim v'tzoymu b'chiyum misped." But by Shushan, it says "Va'ir Shushan navoicha." Navoicha means confused. My father used to say that all the Eden, I mean, it was a tragedy, right? Evel gadol haYehudim tzoymu b'chiyum misped. But in Shushan, in the year Abira, lived the more sophisticated Jews who had connections in the king's palace, and therefore they were actually in shock. The rest of the Jews weren't shocked; they were Evel Gadol Yehudim. But in Shushan, it was Ha'ir Shushan Navoicha. They were confused because so that's what it is. This is our state. We have to accept that, and since there's no escape from the Jewish fate, it's worth embracing the Jewish mission, because otherwise we're just suffering for no reason. And as I've said it many times, the Sforno in the beginning of Parshas Re'eh that says Re'eh Anochi Noisen Lefnechem Ayoim Brocha Uklala, and Sabrocha Asher Tishmu, etc. So the Sforno says, Habito Re'eh. Look into this and think about it. Shelo yeh in yoncha ki inyan shar umas. Your state is not going to be like other people. Either it's going to be above and beyond, or down and under. It's going to be either bracha, which is way above the derech hateva, or it's going to be klala, which is deep under the derech hateva. Yidden will never have it normal. Yeah, our state is not normal, and that's an experience that we have had through history, and ad etzem hayom hazeh, the hatred. I mean, is really something that we've been experiencing for a very, very long time. So, Mamela, what's the chiyuv that's mutal on us, the eis hazois? I mean, what are we supposed to do? I mean, so first of all, it's about really being misbeinen in the pain and the suffering of all those that were killed in the Mises Meshunas, and in the tsar of the mishpachas, and the tsar of those that are being held captive, and the tsar of those that are wounded. Yeah, this is really a chiyuv, mitztayer im hatzibur. It's something that we should dedicate time and effort to, and self-understood that we should try to help other Yidden in any way we can. That the Reb Chaim Brisker, when there was a streifa in Brisk, and people were left without homes, so Reb Chaim himself moved into the Hegdish. The Hegdish was, in shuls in Eastern Europe, they had like a room that was like for the homeless. And you could imagine the kind of people that used to hang out there. Reb Chaim moved in there, and he said he's not moving back home until there's a roof over the head of every Yid in Brisk. So that's That's the madrega of Noisa Boilam Chaveroi, of Mitzdarim Atzibur. And as the Rebbe Itzela brings in the Hagdama of the Nefesh HaChaim that his father used to be Moshiach and Tamid. His father used to always give him Musa, that he's not mitzvah in the tsar of others. So that's an important thing to open up to become attentive to other people's pain. And it's also about restoring Kvod Shamayim, because, B'Tselem Elokim Aseh Sodom. And when we see, so to speak, fellow members of the human race acting in such a barbaric way, I mean, that is really a chilul of the Shem Shamayim, because every human being is created b'tzelem Elokim. He has a b'chira to become whatever he wants to become. He can bring that tzelem Elokim to the highest madregas, and he can become like a chaya. But zelu mazeh Elokim. When we see such a chilul of the Shem Shamayim, it's our obligation to be mekadosh to Shem Shamayim. And actually, we saw in this context, I mean, tremendous giluyim of Kvod Shamayim, where people selflessly, put themselves out for others, which is bemis a counterbalance to the chilul Shem Shamayim of these barbarians. But every day in our life, we have to be committed to be marbe Kvod Shamayim. We say every day, Shema Yisrael, Hashem Elokeinu, Hashem Echad. Rashi says that what's Hashem Elokeinu, Hashem Echad? That in this world, it's Hashem Elokeinu. But in the world to come, it'll be Hashem Echad. Everybody will recognize the Rebbeinu Shalom. So this is a commitment. Kabbalas Oil Malchus Shamayim. Shema Yisrael, the Gemara says, is the pasuk of Kabbalas Oil Malchus Shamayim. How does Kabbalas Oil Malchus Shamayim contain a prophecy about what will be La'asid Lavoi, that he will be Hashem Echad, he will be recognized by everyone? It must be that part of our Kabbalah Malchus Shamayim is that we're committed to live a life that will contribute to the Yakiru V'yedu Kol Yoshvei Sevel Kilochos Sichra Kol Berech Tishava Kol Osher. In other words, so we're saying to the Rebbeinu Shalom, we know you, and we'll do everything we can to make everybody know you. Hashem Elokeinu should not remain Hashem Elokeinu, but it should become Hashem Echad. We say in the end of in Tanchanon every Monday and Thursday, we say Ki no'amu goyim of dosikvasam. The goyim say our hope is gone. We're hopeless. Kol berech lechos sichra v'chol koima lefanecha tishtachave. So what's the Hamshech Advarim over here? So I think the Pshat is Pashut. They say that we have no hope. What do we say? We don't just say that we have hope. We say we have hope. And our hope is actually that they will also recognize the Rebbeinu Shalom. We're not giving up hope on them. They say we're hopeless. Not only do we have hope, we're not even giving up our hope for the rest of humanity. We say, Ki no'amu goyim of the sikvasam, but we say, Kol berech l'chal sichra, v'chol koima l'fanech l'shtachave. So, Hakitza Maisa, the according to the Ramban, the Chiyuv Tefillah Midoraisa is only when there's a Tzora al Hatzibur, which means that this is a time of opportunity to be Mekayim in the mitzvah say Doiraisa of Tefillah, which is when there's a Tzora al Hatzibur, and there's no question that we're dealing over here with a Tzora al Hatzibur. And we have to be Mispal. We have to be Mispal. And we have to try to do acts of kindness, acts of chesed, acts of reaching out to other people in order to counterbalance the Chilul Hashem and to bring out the Tzelem Elokim of Ma'hu Rachum, Af'ato Hayei Rachum, Ma'hu Chanun, Af'ato Hayei Chanun. In other words, to show the bright side of humanity, which is an expression of the Tzelem Elokim. Rabbi say we should be zoiche that Shomer Yisrael, Shmor She'eretz Yisrael, Va'al Yoivad Yisrael Ha'oimrim Shema Yisrael. Sei gesund, a guten Shabbos.